is Lon Safko, co-author of the Social Media Bible, published by John Wiley & Sons, the most comprehensive book ever written on the subject of social media. Today we're here with Bill Julia, founder and CEO of FastPitch, and we'll be speaking today about social media, FastPitch, and more specifically, social networks. So, Bill, it's great to have you here today.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Lon.
This is cool. So let's just jump right into it. Tell our listeners first a little bit about yourself and your background.
Well, myself personally, as you said, I'm the CEO and co-founder of FastPitch. My background, I graduated from University of Florida back in the mid-'90s. Went on to get a master's degree at University of Kentucky, so I kind of stayed in the Southeastern Conference there for about a good 6-7 years worth of schooling. I then left Kentucky. I took on a job with Major League Baseball with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays for a season, doing some different sales and marketing. Then really got into the world of technology, met up with a couple of colleagues of mine from the University of Florida, moving down here to where we're located right now with FastPitch down here in Sarasota, Florida, just south of Tampa, cool. Doing some very high-end web development kind of stuff for ERP systems such as SAP, PeopleSoft, and some different systems like that. And that's what really got me involved in technology. Truly understanding it, and more importantly, with my background, more of a marketing side of things and how to market a company that's involved in the internet age. From there, I worked in a couple different capacities with a couple different companies, eventually breaking off and starting to do my own thing with FastPitch, which initially started out in 2003 as a networking event company where we did what we called at the time speed networking events, kind of like a speed dating concept, but for business people. To my knowledge, we were the only company in the world where we actually had these events going in about 20 different states at any one time. I had different people contracted out around the country hosting these events on a regular basis. And ultimately, it was the experience that I had, not only with my technology background and my marketing background, but the experience of dealing with literally thousands of business professionals around the country that led to the creation of what FastPitch is now, which is an online business network for professionals. And a lot of that experience that we had one-on-one with a lot of the people that we connected with in all these different states and cities has led to the creation of what we now have, and kind of the tool set and the feature set that we've developed that's unlike any other network on the market right now.
Well, good. Yeah, let's talk about that. I've looked at FastPitch. I think it's really awesome, and you participated in some of our conferences in the past. And I noticed that you were named Website of the Week by MSNBC's Your Business, voted most popular online business network, 6-star reviews, and then on top of that, voted the best of Web 2.0, all things web. That's pretty impressive. Can you explain to the listeners what FastPitch actually is?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're obviously excited about some of the accolades we've been getting over these past few months. We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary from our official launch, which was in July of 2006. We've kind of flown under the radar a little bit, which has actually been fine for now. And just recently, like as you said, MSNBC and some big networks have picked up on us, and so we're excited about that. A little bit about what makes our network different and why people are now becoming so excited about it. Part of the reason we built out our network, we were looking 2 or 3 years ago at the networking landscape. And at the time, if you think about it, anybody that's really familiar with social networking, some of the dinosaurs in this industry so far right now are sites like MySpace and Facebook, obviously those that are very socially oriented. Right. And then kind of in the business world on the other end of the spectrum, the network that's been around the longest is a site like LinkedIn, which is very career-oriented and allows you to really promote yourself in terms of your resume and your work experience and those kind of things. And so what we did was we took a look at that landscape and we said, okay, there's a lot going on in the social world. That's tough to compete in. There's a lot going on in the resume career world with LinkedIn and Monster.com and those kind of sites. Right. But there really was nothing filling the void left for business professionals that actually are involved in a company that are given the task of either marketing or doing sales or promoting from a PR standpoint. So we looked at it from the standpoint of a typical small business owner what kind of tools would they need in an online network, and what can we build? And, going back to those experiences of having done a lot of events and a lot of the feedback we'd received, we came up with a couple different tool sets within our system that really are designed to help people promote their business. And the experience when you come into Fast Pitch is really driven by your company. It's not as much about you and your career path, right. Although you can promote that within our network. The basis for everything you do is your pitch, and that's kind of why the name's obviously Fast Pitch. It's cool. A really concentrated way to promote your company, what makes it great, what makes it different, the types of companies you're also trying to connect to, and providing a number of different ways for you to really promote yourself within that network.
That's an exciting concept because, and correct me if I'm wrong, really it's kind of like LinkedIn where you go in and create your own personal profile, but it's not a personal profile. Your company actually has its own personal profile in there, and you link companies through your elevator pitch.
Exactly, yeah. It's more or less your elevator pitch that's kind of put at the front and center of the experience. And then around that, there is obviously a lot of opportunity for you to add a personal side to it, and that's where your personal networking and being able to link to other people that went to your colleges, or maybe people that are involved in other networks you're a part of, like Chamber of Commerce's and leads groups. You can leverage all of those things within our network as well. And the idea for us is to kind of become a one-stop shop for all of these things. You can come on there obviously and look for career opportunity as well, but while you're there, and you're already working a job, there's opportunity to really push your business. And that's what most people are there to do. And our goal is to really make our community very, very active and very, very valuable to everybody, to the point where they're actively logging in on a daily basis and leveraging our system. We don't necessarily want to become, one of these monster networks that has 20, 50 million users, because we don't really want to have 10 million profiles that aren't necessarily being used or aren't active. There's not much value in that, in our opinion.
Good point.
So where we're looking for is the opportunity to build a very vibrant network.
And that's also a really good point. I had the privilege of interviewing David Knorr, relationship economics, and one of the things that he stressed is, for example, when you're in a social network, it's not as important to have 6,000 friends or links. What it's really important is to leverage very specific people who can help each other, and so it's more about quality than quantity, and I think that's what I'm hearing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's our approach internally. I mean, when we think about networking here at Fast Pitch, that's what we try to impress upon people, is to really, make a calculated decision about who you're going to connect to, and be a little bit more, smarter about it from that standpoint. Right. Now, you're always obviously going to get those people on that are kind of taking a blanket approach or a shotgun approach where they, connect to everybody and anybody. And, who's to say whether which is right or wrong? I mean, some people that may work well for, so we're not going to inhibit that by any means. But, all of the messaging on our site is really geared towards telling people, make this a valuable experience, connect with people look for real opportunities here, not just an opportunity to spam people for whatever reason. The idea is to really create value. And just real quick on another offshoot to that, in terms of making our network valuable, one of the unique things that we do is we actually force our members to become active on the system. Periodically, we'll send out alert messages to members that we see that haven't logged in quite some time. Perhaps their email is getting bounced back. They may have not made any connections, or their profile is not even close to being complete. We'll send them messages periodically over the course of a month or two, reminding them to do these things. And quite honestly, if at some point we're getting no response back from those people, we'll actually purge the profile from the system. Won't get purged completely. The person could ultimately come back in, log in, and do all these things. But in terms of the experience for the people that are actively using our site, that person won't show up. And so that'll make the person who's really using the site, their experience that much more fruitful, because they won't be wasting their time trying to connect to somebody that's obviously not engaged.
I like that concept because, it makes the information in there much more valuable, because it's people that really care about using this type of a service.
Right. Yeah, I mean, everybody's time is valuable these days. So, the last thing you want to do is log into a system and spend an hour connecting to 10 or 20 people and only have 2 or 3 reply. And, part of the and have part of the reason why they're not replying be that they're not even really there. We're not in that market at all. We're not trying to play that game. We're not an advertising-based company. We're not dependent upon advertising revenues by any means. So we've kind of got the luxury of not having to worry about click-throughs and impressions and all these different things. We're approaching it from a subscription end. So
and again, I really like that because we're talking about quality, not quantity. And to kind of camp onto your comment about spam, we interviewed Amanda Vega, who is kind of an expert in comment marketing. And the morning that we interviewed her, she told us somebody who was on LinkedIn and actually spammed the entire LinkedIn network that she had access to, saying, this is what I do for a living, I'm available for consulting, I'm available for speaking. And I think the term that she used is she got flamed. That really ticked off the LinkedIn user. So I think there's a certain level of appropriateness with social networks. Do you kind of agree?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's definitely an etiquette to it, and we're very conscious of it. We've been pretty fortunate so far that we haven't had too many people do things like you just mentioned, but we're conscious of it. So anytime that somebody on our network sends us an email that reports somebody doing something like that, we'll keep a close eye on it. I think there's maybe been less than a handful of times we've actually had to kick somebody off of the network. So I think it all starts with your initial approach as a company and a lot of the messaging and things that you're conveying from the top down to impress upon all of the members that, hey, this is the attitude we're taking here on this network, and if you are looking to just spam people and take these shotgun approaches, there may be other networks that give you a better opportunity to do that. There's definitely an etiquette to it.
And that's one of the things I like hearing you say as well, is that in social media, one of the prevailing trends is integrity.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Can you give me a specific example of, I go to Fast Pitch and I create a profile on my elevator pitch. Where do I go from there? What do I actually do with it?
Well, there's the way we kind of present Fast Pitch to people is to think about it in terms of two major things. One
What's your elevator pitch?
The two things you definitely want to do when you're on a site like Fast Pitch is, one, obviously networking. That's a huge component to it. First thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is complete your profile, put your pitch on there, put together a good message. So then when you are communicating with people and making that first impression, you have a nice picture up there. You've got a fully completed profile that really tells a nice story. That's your first step to networking. The second, and in my opinion, more important aspect to a social network like Fast Pitch is the marketing side of things. Yeah. And that's where a lot of people actually don't pick up on when they join a social network, is the power of marketing within the network. And let me give you an example. On Fast Pitch, a lot of the features we've created allow you to really add a lot of content above and beyond just your initial pitch about your business. We've got an entire press distribution system within our network. We've got a blog syndication feature where you can import all your blogs from your blog to your profile and out to our blog site, which gets picked up on a feed. We've got a whole event distribution section where you can promote events and highlight events you may be attending to help market those. There's a classified section. There's the opportunity to post video and podcasts and really make your profile interactive. There's also the opportunity to attend what we call virtual trade shows, and that's a really popular section of our site where a lot of our members will go to a certain page at a certain point in the day and have one-on-one communication with other members, either via live chat or two-way streaming video. And it's something that no other network has rolled out other than us. So back to your question, it's all about networking, but more importantly, it's about marketing. And the more of the content that you can add to your profile, the more colorful it becomes, and the more opportunity there is when people are searching Fast Pitch for certain types of people or types of industries for your content to get served up in those results. So, somebody may search for a financial planner in Phoenix, Arizona, and ultimately come across your press release that you posted, which is obviously tied to your profile, which is tied to your website, which hopefully drives some business in your direction. And then lastly, just while talking about the marketing side of things, not only by posting content in our network are you growing your footprint in our network, but you're also growing your footprint outside of Fast Pitch, which is probably even more important. There's opportunity now as search engines like Google pick up your press release or pick up the keywords in an event announcement, they're getting picked up on Google. So now people outside of FastPitch are now coming across your profile or your press release, and then taking that vicious cycle into seeing your profile, learning about you, learning about where you went to college, learning about your company, and hopefully, again, contacting you at the end of the day.
Jeez. And, of course, one of the questions is how does FastPitch fit into social, the big term of social media, more so than just the more vertical term of social networks. But I think you answered that. But can you just reiterate again, just kind of quickly, that shopping list of all of the social media tools that are actually built into FastPitch? That's surprising.
Yeah. Basically, we've added every form of social media or every tool that's out there that we think is advantageous to a business person. 9 times out of 10, we've actually built it ourselves, and it's all built internally into our system. And so, again, a couple of those that we've added to our system that we think are valuable right now. Again, a press distribution service, blog syndication and distribution service, event marketing service, place to post classifieds, place to embed video, podcasts. There's the whole reporting system that lets you evaluate the success you're having on FastPitch. So it tracks your all the times your profile and your press has been served up. Tracks how many times these things have been clicked on.
So you have analytics.
Analytics that can let you know who have clicked on your profile to make things a little bit more transparent for you. There's obviously the whole virtual trade show component we've built that allows you to have instant communication with other members. Another new feature we added recently is an internal feed system, much like you'd see on like Facebook, where you can add your immediate status update, kind of like microblogging about what's going on in your life.
Right.
We've got that embedded within our system, and what's unique about that is we've actually got that tied to our master FastPitch Twitter account, which is followed by thousands of people on Twitter. And so if you're a member of FastPitch, adding a feed to within FastPitch, it's getting added to our Twitter account, which is also getting broadcast out to people outside of FastPitch.
Wow.
So
that's robust.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's maybe too much for a lot of people to take in. But the key is to get in there, create the profile, get the ball rolling, and then once you get in there, you really start to see all these features, and they start to open up to you. And some people take advantage of all of it. Some people take advantage of 10% of it. But the point is that there's something there for everybody, and that's our goal. So
just kind of roll up your sleeves, just do it, get in there, do what you feel most comfortable with first, and then just kind of build from there.
Exactly.
And you mentioned that you don't really count on advertising revenue. Now, most of the companies that I spoke to, that is their sole source of revenue. So you'd mentioned subscriptions. So can you tell me how you monetize it, maybe what those costs are?
Sure. There's a couple different levels of membership on FastPitch. And in our opinion, the people that are truly engaged and truly adding value and getting value out of our system are the ones that upgrade and become subscribers. And it's a very small amount in terms of the cost of all these features you get. The dollar value compared to trying to do these things outside of our network is drastically different. But let me explain the different levels of membership. So first off, when you come on, you create a profile. You can have a basic profile. It's free. It gives you a basic presence on the system. It'll allow you to invite people that you already know into the network. If they come on and join, they're part of your network from day one. It allows you to receive invitations to connect. So if somebody on the network that finds you, you can accept the invitation and grow your network that way. It'll allow you to post press releases and do some of those other features, and they're all tied directly to your profile.
Wow.
Beyond that, the next level is our first paid level of membership, which is a premium membership, and it's $9 a month. Depending upon if you can also buy into a year up front, which makes it about $7 a month on average. And what that does for you is it gives you credits in our system to immediately allow you to reach out and connect to other people, so it lets you be a more proactive networker.
Right.
And then, more importantly, it'll increase your ranking throughout the site. So as people are searching for profiles in certain industries, there's the likelihood that your profile is going to get served up higher than somebody that's a free member. So there's a whole internal kind of advertising marketing component to becoming a member that's very valuable. Then the next step beyond that is what we call our platinum member, and that is basically everything you get with premium, but it's all enhanced. So your ranking on the system gives you 3 stars, so it'll allow you to outrank everybody below you. It allows you to have unlimited credits, which allows you to connect to an unlimited amount of people a month. So if you're this power networker that wants to connect with 200-300 people a month or something like that, this gives you the freedom to do that. It allows you to see who clicked on your profile. It'll increase your rankings across your press releases, all these other things. Everything's just magnified with the Platinum membership. Beyond that, so that's 90% of our revenues come from subscriptions. Beyond that, we have a lot of one-off kind of upsell opportunities where, just to give you one example, one of the things that's really powerful that you could do with a press release, for example, is you can have a press release sent to up to 50,000 other Fast Pitch members directly to their Fast Pitch inbox. And a lot of small businesses love this feature. That it's $95 for each press release. And a lot of people like it because, if you think about it, in the past, most small businesses are relying on a PR firm, which are pretty expensive a lot of times.
Yeah.
And they will then, cross their fingers and hope that a local newspaper or magazine picks up on what they're doing, and then they cross their fingers again and hope that the people that they want to learn about them are actually reading that newspaper on that given day. So there's a lot of what-ifs there. What our distribution system does is it allows you to actually target the types of people at the end of the day that you want to have read that press release, and we'll send it out to the most active and exact types of people you're trying to reach, to the most active 50,000 people in our network that you would like to read that press release. So we're cutting out the middleman for a lot of people, and it's very inexpensive. But it is a part of our whole revenue model. As there's different one-off opportunities like that for people to do things above and beyond just what comes with a subscription.
And that's pretty powerful. You're exactly right. Press releases, normal press releases that are faxed are completely ineffective. And now, because so many people are catching on to online syndication of press releases, they're becoming a little less effective. But what I just heard here is that not only is it targeted because you can pick your demographic, but it's also part of this trusted network, which gives it a lot more credibility than anything you can do with it.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the power. A lot of people weren't understanding what we were doing with our press service in the early days. But the power of what we've got with this is because we have an audience, and we're not just relying on blind syndication that's going out to the New York Times that may or may not be getting to anybody, which is what you get with some of the traditional PR services out there. With us, it's, hey, that may happen, it may not. We're upfront and honest about that. But where we can give you a value that you're going to get is this press release will go directly to an audience, and that audience is built in within our network, and that's what gives our distribution service so much power, and it's so unique. And some of the traditional PR, online PR systems cannot offer that. They've never had a community, so it's a nice alternative. I don't want to say it's better or worse than anything else, but it's definitely a nice alternative, and it's a lot less expensive. And again, a lot of these things are geared towards, a small business owner or a marketing person that's looking for a cost-effective way to drive some exposure. And
that's the key word there, cost-effective. Is there any, speaking of audience, is there any stats about Fast Pitch that you can share with us?
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
Statistics, any number of members or anything you want to share?
Yeah, right now, as I said before, we're not as concerned about our numbers. Right now, we have a couple 100,000 members on the system, and we've only been around, again, for like 2 years. But, again, our focus isn't so much on our numbers. So if you're playing the numbers game with Fast Pitch compared to like a Facebook, we pale in comparison. But again, our number sometimes fluctuates. We may go 1 month where we have 180,000 profiles or 200,000 profiles. The next month, we may theoretically grow by 50,000 more, but we may purge 30,000 because they're just not being active. So, for us, we always get asked that question: how many profiles do you have? How many members you have? And we'll obviously throw our number out there, but it's not quite as relevant in the grand scheme of things compared to the larger networks because they operate completely differently. They're advertising. They're not as concerned about dead profiles, obviously.
Right.
We're coming at it from a different angle.
So size doesn't matter.
Exactly. In this case.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Is there a success story that you can share that maybe one of your clients have they generated some business? Is there something that you can share with us about that?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of our success stories are just a lot of hearsay that our support team gets on a day-to-day basis as people are calling in and, asking about how to use certain features. There's just constant feedback about, hey, I actually met somebody that I never met before I was trying to get to, and I did business and so forth. So there's a lot of opportunities like that. We're always seeing on some of our communication logs, we're seeing a lot of the communication going back between people, and you see a lot of opportunity that's happening out there. To give you a specific, I guess a perfect timely example, you said, you were telling me earlier that you're based out in Phoenix, Arizona,
right.
And there was a social media conference out there, as you know, with Matt O'Brien,
mm-hmm.
and he mentioned just the other day that he came in, used our system, posted a press release about his conference that he was having. I guess it was like last Thursday,
right.
And apparently it got picked up by the major newspaper out there in Arizona, and he mentioned the only place he posted the press release was on our system. So the only way they could have contacted him and picked up on what he was doing was through FastPitch. So, there's obviously a ton of success stories out there, but that's obviously a good one and timely and appropriate for your question.
Yeah, it really is. And I appreciate it because I'm one of the founding members of that social media seminar conference company. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
and that's great. A major, our local newspaper, the Arizona Republic, pretty much dominates the entire state of Arizona. So when they pick up on a story, that's usually a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So thank you, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our listeners about FastPitch? Anything else that you can think of?
Not necessarily. Just that, anybody out there that is either involved in a social network already and maybe has a certain mindset about what a social network is, either from a purely social standpoint or from the traditional LinkedIn resume approach. I strongly encourage you to take a peek at FastPitch and take a moment to create a profile because the experience you're going to have is going to be completely different, and we really truly feel like we offer a lot of value. To be honest, we don't feel like we compete with any other network out there just because we are so different.
Yeah.
In fact, we feel like we complement almost everything out there. So there's a place, I think, for you to be on probably 5 or 6 networks. Don't limit yourself to just one because you never know, where your next opportunity is going to come from. It can never hurt to put content out there on all these different sites because, again, looking beyond just the networks themselves, there's opportunity to get picked up on Google and Yahoo and some of these other networks that can drive more traffic in your direction. So just a piece of advice to everybody out there. And obviously, if you've never gotten involved in a network, go ahead and give us a try. Give us a call. Our phone number is all over the website. We're very excited about our support team. And, we understand for a lot of people getting involved in social media is a brand new thing, and we understand that. We're willing to get on the phone and talk to you and talk you through your business a little bit and give you some insight.
I appreciate the difference, as you just said, about what you do and then how you complement all of the other sites. Generally speaking, MySpace is kind of a social site, where LinkedIn is a professional site for individuals, but it sounds like this, for sure, this is the first professional site that represents companies.
Correct. You got it.
That is so cool. Can you tell the listeners where they can actually find more information about you?
Yeah, well, obviously go to the website. It is www.fastpitchnetworking.com. Once you get there, kind of a typical sign-up process. You'll go through, you create the first wave or first phase of your profile. Don't necessarily have to make it very robust in the beginning. You can just get your feet wet and then come back to it later on if you'd like. If you have questions, our phone number is 941-309-5339. Never afraid to give that out because we're pretty proactive about working one-on-one with people. And, a lot of the conversations we have are what has led us to build some of the features we have. So we're always practicing what we preach from the standpoint of networking and having an open conversation with people about, their business and obviously how that can play a role in FastPitch down the road.
So you actually listen to your customers?
We try to.
That's a big difference. I appreciate that. I'd really like to thank you, Bill Julia, the founder and CEO of FastPitch, for being with us here today and explaining to us a little bit about his online professional social website. So, Bill, really, thank you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me on, Lon. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So this has been Lon Safko, the co-author of the Social Media Bible. Be sure to check out the other valuable social media tactics, tools, and strategies that can be found in the Social Media Bible book and its companion website, www.thesocialmediabible.com. For more information about me, Lon Safko, please, by all means, go to my website at www.lonsafko.com. And again, Bill, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hey, thanks again, Lon.